Okay, so good morning and good afternoon to everybody. And now we come to the last session of our webinar series on video filming. And this is the one that we have the most excitement now because today Olcay is going to go through all the ones that you've done, your productions will be on scene, and we will get feedbacks on what we have done so far, and we get some also extra points to improve our video filming. Is that right, Olcay?
Yes, true. Absolutely.
Okay, so the floor is yours.
Thank you. Welcome you all to our third session. Let me share my screen first. Yes. This is our third session, as you all know, and we'll start with a brief reminder of what we have done up to now, and then we'll continue with the feedback session, and we'll finish our session with some common mistakes and how to improve them. Yes, up to now what we have done, we have talked about how to get prepared for our filming and editing sessions, because it's important to make ourselves ready for that in order to gain some time in the editing and shooting process. If we really prepare ourselves well or plan, organize our shootings, then we really need less time for finishing our film. But if we don't work on our outline or our topic enough, then we need extra times to reorganize everything and finish our videos. Then we learned how to take a better picture with our cameras, existing cameras, and how to improve our equipment, and how to take a clean interview, or how to get what we want to get from the person, the speaker. It's really important. And we followed by editing, and it's followed by editing, and then we have homeworks, as you all know. Let's go on with the homeworks, actually. We have 5 films. We have received 5 films up to now. And thank you all for these films. Really, I am impressed that you have found some time and prepared these films in a 1 week time. It's really a very tight timeline for making a good video, but you already have some good videos. Thank you for your interest, first of all. Let's start watching the films, actually, then talk about them. Yes, let's start with Mesocosm. I don't know how to say Esimat.
In 2002, after Prestigious Spiel, it was clear for us the need of working with the closest experimental approach to the natural conditions. So we decided to construct our initial Mesocon facilities. This allowed us to reproduce the oil spill without risk to the environment, to follow its evolution from the very beginning, and also with the possibility of replication and testing different scenarios. After that initial experience, there has been an increasing number of researchers of our institution interested in working with mesopause, both benthic and pelagic. Thus, we have been working to improve our facilities. We made a renovation of our floating platforms, and also we constructed a new land-based facilities both for benthic and pelagic experiments. We are finishing right now the installation of the tanks in our new land-based facilities, so they'll be fully operative in January 2021. These facilities include a 70 cubic meters tank to allocate up to 9 mesopause bags. We have 12 ponds for benthic mesopause experiments, and we also have a series of 1,000 liters tanks to allocate different micropause experiments.
Yes. Thank you for this video. I should say this is a really very nice video for you beginners. And you said that this is the first time you edit a video. And I know you don't have microphones, and so you have some sound problems. But anyway, I think you managed really very well to get together the images and the speech. Thank you for much. Thank you very much for this video. I am really impressed with actually the intro, the opening scene. That's the project. I'm really impressed by this intro scene because really I don't know you have heard about that, but this is called, what you did is called establishing shot in cinema. And maybe you have seen in Western films, in Hollywood films many times, and you are maybe familiar with this kind of shot because Hollywood films actually have some mathematics in it, and they follow some rules to appeal to the taste of general audience. And this is, I think, a good example of how you can transfer some tricks even from some Hollywood films to your research video. So maybe you can, up to now, until after this time, maybe you're gonna watch the movies, maybe thinking about this. How can I transfer these tricks to my video? I'm not kidding, it's real. You can use, you see how it is successful to use some fiction movie trick in a video. Because this establishing shot is, normally I do not suggest this kind of very long horizontal camera move, because it's normally you cannot use in a video. But this is the only maybe time that it is useful, in the beginning of the film. It's an establishing shot, and it's actually it is useful to tell the audience that the film will take place in this place. Mm-hmm. And we are getting ready for the movie. It's a very slow, long pan. for the movie. Okay, it's really nice. But maybe a little suggestion here. Maybe you can use these titles after you finish the whole movement, whole pan. At the end of pan, I mean, because it's a good scene we are looking at, but the title is distracting us because you have some attractions on the title also with color like that, and it's coming and going out, so it's distracting our experience here. So it's better to put the title at the end of this moment. We are really curious about what is going, where is here, and place there, people living. What is that place? Yes, now I understand. The title comes out here, and Marine Research Center, University of Vigo. Okay, now I understand. But let us wonder what will happen, or where is here. Okay.
Okay.
This is a suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
And I think here you try to exercise what is assigned in the homework, the divided screens, but you see here these two is including both videos with action. So one is zooming out, zooming in the left side, and the other is also panning. I don't know what to focus on, you know, and there is a text appeared in the middle. So maybe I know you just wanted to exercise this dividing screen, but when you are going to use this multi-frame, think why I need to use this multi-frame. Does it add something to my video? For example, when this is also another thing, but I have to say to all groups, avoid using vertical videos. I know you have mobile phones, and mobile phones, we intentionally use it vertically, but please just get used to use it horizontal all the time, because it's really in the editing you have very difficult times. But assume that you have some vertical images from your previous shots and you have to use it, then you can use it in this multi-frames. You can, for example, put it horizontal, vertical here and use another video here. So you can use it in a multi-frame. So when you want to use multi-frame, think about if it is necessary or not, if it adds something to your video. Okay, and there is some red screen here. You maybe notice that. So this is what we don't want here.
Yeah.
Interview.
In 2002, after prestigious spill, it was clear for us the need of working with the closest experimental approach to the natural conditions.
I think the frame is really good, the composition. I like the composition, but I can say that it made me feel like I'm about to hear some story. You started with you start with mentioning how you decided to study this topic. This is a nice start, I think, really good. It impressed me. And you make us imagine that there is a group of scientists decides to solve a problem in their closed environment, for example. I don't know, after some certain events, they decide this, for example, in this case, a spill to lake, I guess. I'm just thinking about it. And then you state that in the film, there are others joined to your research. So you develop a story here. I think you're very successful to do that. It's a nice point, but film has some potential to tell us a story. But when I see you in the first frame, in the You are talking as an expert. So you just, I don't know, the atmosphere changed to an expert video. I think you have a very powerful storytelling here, but you start as a storyteller, but then you continue as an expert. I suggest maybe you can change your interview style for this video, because there's a potential here, and you may use voiceover, for example, or maybe only in the beginning of the video we can see you in a few sentences, then you can follow with, for example, you can add some close-ups, for example, while you are working in the field, in the experiment, or the other person working on it, maybe some close-ups, some smiling people, some human things, I mean.
Okay.
Because there is a potential, and if you can take a good voiceover sound recording, we can see you working on the field and we can hear your voice. So it's more like a storytelling.
Okay.
It's just a suggestion, because your style should be consistent on what you are talking about. If you are telling it like a story, then this expert like interview is not very consistent. Okay.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel that this is a general I see in all the films. For example, when you finish talking,
To construct our initial mesoconstruction.
Here.
With the possibility of replication and testing different scenarios.
I think you are leaving too much space between your speech.
Okay.
Sometimes, yes, long speeches are boring, but also we can easily get bored from images with music also, if it's when they are not interesting or not relevant to the topic, or not informing us about some extra thing the images are, or repetitive. Then if you put this kind of clips too much between your speech and they are long, then we again start to get bored. So you have to sometimes stop in your editing and watch from the beginning and check about the pace of your video, how it is going. So there is too much speech, or too many images, clip, or there are too much music, and maybe I can stop music here. Maybe silence could be better. So you have to think about that at some point of your editing for the pace.
Okay.
Anything else? I think this is all, but in total, it's a really very nice movie for a beginner. I'm really impressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments.
And maybe if you have experiences, because actually, I am sure that you are going to learn more than I taught you in the sessions, in the homeworks, or while you are trying to make a video. So you should have learned lots of things while you are doing that, and you have some experience. Maybe you can share something if you have.
Yeah. Now that you have given us the basis of how to plan the video filming and the editing, is easiest, and we learn a lot when we, as you say, when we try to edit the video and to add the titles and things like that. We learn a lot during the process, and I'm sure that we will keep on learning a lot in the next video editings.
Yeah, if you continue this film, for example, when you have some findings, then you can maybe remove this dialogues with a better microphone, a sound recorded with a better microphone, then I think you will have a really good movie at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So our second movie, here.
For big science, you need big cities. No. Come and explore our Mesocosmos-Lund. The International Research Center, Wassercluster Lund, is settled at the beginnings of the Alps, next to Lake Lund, and has really modern and unique facilities to offer. For example, our Mesocosmos.
The Mesocosmos facility we have built here is unique in the sense it's designed to test the role of dispersal. So it's a land-based Mesocosmos facility where we can manipulate the connectivity to some natural habitat, a natural lake. And at the same time we have quite a high number of replicates. We can have up to 40 mesocosms, which allows a high replication and therefore is a very sensitive analysis of results. Besides connectivity, we can manipulate temperature. We have used, for example, a heat wave design in one experiment, but of course we can also manipulate nutrient concentration or light. So in a big experiment we did, we have manipulated connectivity to natural water bodies, and we could see a very clear response in terms of protist and consumer ciliates that were responding positively to enhanced connectivity, and not only that we had higher abundances and diversity of ciliates, but also we could monitor their top-down effect induced by dispersal.
You want to do research at Wassercluster Lund? Find out more on our website. We welcome the world.
Yes, another great video. I'm really shocked to see that kind of animation. How you managed to do that in a 1 week time. Thank you for the video. Maybe we can go through it in detail. Yes, here. You really have very nice animations. I can suggest you in this kind of animations, maybe you can add some sound effects here. For example, if this is some water, here you see, and you can put some water effects or some kind of, I don't know, this kind of effects when coming to the screen. Really it elevates your video's rhythm and adds more. But anyway, without that, it's also okay. It's just a little suggestion. And maybe this introduction is a little bit long. You can make it shorter, or you can just speed up this animation a little bit more. And I can suggest this screen in a full screen. I mean, in some parts of the video, I see that you are using the half of the screen, and then full screen, and you can maybe be consistent about that. it's better to see a full screen all the time. And I guess you know how to do that because you're really became advanced in editing. As I see, I'm really impressed. But I can show maybe a little easy effect generator here. For example, there is in the effect library, there is generators. If you have the original image like this, not full screen, you can add some, for example, a solid color here. And you see, okay, here from the inspector, you can change its color to, I don't know, yeah, you can choose this white color. And if you crop your video, how you can crop it from here, for example, you see, now we have the full screen. And I think it looks better. I don't know. Yes. I think this animation is really
Big cities.
And it's a very interesting beginning. I really enjoyed the video and I wanted to see the rest of the video. So it's really what we have talked about this. You remember a nice intro is an interesting intro is really important to capture your audience on the internet. So this is, I think, a great idea to start with the video.
No. The International Research Center, Wasserklasse Lund, is settled at the beginnings of the Alps, next to Lake Lund, and has really...
Yes, this is nice, and we can go to our... And you can to this kind of style, writing your questions. This is also okay, and you are very clear about... It makes your video very clear about what you want to say. I really understand what's happening there with this style.
The Mesocosm facility we have built here is unique in the sense it's designed to test the role of dispersal. So it's a land-based mesocosm facility where we can manipulate the connectivity to some natural habitat.
Yeah, I should suggest you, maybe you remember in the first session, or in the second session, B-roll images are an opportunity to hide or cut the speaker's filler sounds or this silence between their speech and pauses, the hesitance points. You can remove all these unwanted pieces in the speech, so you can use it.
Where we can manipulate the connectivity to some natural habitat.
You can cut here before we see the speaker again. By the way, your speaker is really a good speaker. He's really getting the message well, but there is still a space for further improvement. You can remove that part and the speech will be more smooth for your audience.
Habitat, the natural lake. And at the same time, we have quite a high number of replicates. We can have up to 40 mesocosms, which allows a high...
These are really makes your video more interesting, and I really don't get bored with these animations. It's a good
application, and therefore is a very sensitive analysis of results.
maybe you can increase the volume of your music when the questions appeared. This is usually what we do while editing our videos. If there is a speech, we decrease the volume of the music, and if there is nothing, no one speaking in the video, then only images, then we increase the volume. So this level ups and downs make your video more dynamic, and your audiences don't lose their attention.
Besides connectivity, we can manipulate temperature. We have used, for example, a heat wave design in one experiment.
And another thing is I think you don't have a good microphone, and
You need big CDs.
your voiceover has some echoes. Maybe you have recorded it in an empty room. Maybe this is your mistake. You should find some room with some more furniture, maybe. It's better for voiceovers. You can use a closed cabinet or a small room with furnitures. I think here this echo in the voice is not so good. You can easily get over it, I think. It's not a big problem. And one last suggestion, but it's a very minor suggestion, it's optional. While you are choosing music, you have to think about, for example, I don't know how to say, some musics are attached to some specific style of video in our minds, because if you are watching videos on the YouTube, for example, this kind of music in the interview,
we can have up to 40 mesocosms, which allows...
Maybe we watch a lot of videos with this music. This is a free music, I guess, and lots of people used in their videos. But in my mind, for example, it's attached to some recipe videos, cooking videos. So I don't know, it's just a small little suggestion. Maybe you can avoid using this kind of very popular musics, or the music that reminds us some certain specific style of videos. Anyway, it's really great video. Thank you for the video.
Yeah, and we also want to say thank you to you for these very grateful and nice tips we will work on now. Thank you.
You're welcome. And let's move on our third video, Daphnia from Middle East Technical University.
In Greek mythology, a beautiful nymph, daughter of a river god and crush of a glorious god Apollo, name is Daphne. Our beautiful little creatures take their name from this beautiful girl. So, in biology, Daphnia is a crustacean animal. So, far relatives of crabs. And they are versatile consumers and they feed on algae. This is an algae culture. This green water includes thousands of single-cell photosynthetic creatures. We produce them to feed our dolphins.
We have two groups of chemicals. The first group is used for Daphnia medium, called combo, and the second group is algae trace element stock solution. We grow algae with combination of combo and trace element stock solution.
Combo and algal trace element stock solution medium together provide major ions and nutrient elements to zooplankton and phytoplankton to grow in culture. Combo medium includes TES buffer and potassium hydrogen, phosphate, sodium nitrate, magnesium sulfate heptahydrate, calcium chloride dehydrate, sodium bicarbonate, sodium metasilicate monohydrate, boric acid, and algyl trace elements with vitamin B12 and biotin. Algyl trace elements made of disodium dehydrate, ferric chloride hexahydrate, manganese chloride tetrahydrate, copper sulfate pentahydrate, zinc sulfate heptahydrate, cobalt chloride hexahydrate, sodium molybdate dehydrate, selenous acid, and sodium ortavonadate.
Yes, thank you for this video. Maybe let's open it again and actually you really started good to your video. It's a nice start, I should say. You start mentioning or you start with a story from Greek mythology, and it's nice. But I think in composition, and I liked your idea to add some photos and text also, but actually the text and your speech is the same, and maybe you can prefer using some keywords from your speech because it's like a subtitle then. And maybe about composition, I don't know whether you have tripods or not, but you use your camera is not on the eye level. It's just lower than your speaker. So the speaker is looking somehow to a lower level. So it's maybe making it eye level is nicer, I think. I don't know. And here we have on the left side, we see some window or door. Maybe you can change your composition to see some interesting background. You can add some interesting background. I don't know. And I think why you prefer, but you didn't want to use music, I think, but maybe adding some music may may elevate your video. It can add lots of things to your video. I don't know if you intentionally don't use music or not, but I suggest using music.
God and glorious, beautiful little creatures. Biology.
And maybe you can, instead of showing this while we are talking, you can take some extra shots, some close shots from the tube, for example. You can add to your over your speech, and we can see it closer. Maybe it's better to see because you are telling something about this tube and we don't see in detail. It is better to take some extra shots in the filming process, because if you have some problems in your speech, some silences, some pauses, or some faults, and you can then add these images over your speech.
Water includes.
Yes, here you put some detailed shot, but
We have two groups.
and
We have
also another important mistake, I think, we start to see the speaker in the screen, but she starts to speak a few seconds later. You see?
we have two
There is 2 seconds actually before start speaking, and you can cut here and make your video more dynamic actually. If you cut all these points in your video, at the end, you'll have a shorter video and a more dynamic video.
groups of chemicals. The first group is used for diaphragm medium called common.
Major ions.
And I think your video has a kind of mixed style. Maybe you haven't thought about your target audience at the beginning. There's a confusing point here because you start like presenting it for the general audience. You start telling some story, then we start to hear many technical words after, then it becomes in the third part like a lecture style. So I'm thinking, who is the target audience in this video? The general audience, or your colleagues, or biology students trying to learn something from this video? I don't know. I'm confused with that actually. Maybe you have to think more about the target audience before starting your video. This is my suggestion. And
Combo and algal trace element
this
stock
is too much
solution.
detail for a internet video. I should say this is okay for a lecture video, but this is not. This makes the audience get easily bored. This is too much detail for a video. But in general, yes, I think it's a good start. You have a good style. You're adding some keywords and you're using text to emphasize your points. But in total, maybe you can think about your target audience and your style again. Thank you very much for your video.
Thank you for your comments.
And I think we have time limitation, so
Delvin, what's your problem?
I'm not sure how to take the mesocosms.
Within the scope of the AQUACOSM project, we are conducting experiments at the Mehmet facility to question the effects of climate change. Globally, freshwater ecosystems are warming and are experiencing increased VOC through floods. So next year, we plan to perform an experiment to understand the effects of VOC and temperature increase in freshwater food web. Here we conduct a trial before the main experiment in next year for testing the effectiveness of isolation and heating system in the mesocosms. by comparing with ambient conditions to create a better design.
Dilvin, wake up, we are late to the field work.
Okay, let's go to create a better design.
Yes, thank you for the video. Actually, your images are really good, but I think you suffered from some sound problems. I don't know, while you're exporting your video, maybe there are some problems appeared because we couldn't hear the sound of the music. It's really, there's a problem in sound channel maybe. Okay, you can just fix it very easily, but you need to think about this sound.
I'm sorry, Olcay. I'm not sure the video that I have sent out or the that we uploaded to YouTube had some problems, but I'm not sure.
I guess it's, some problems appeared in the exports process. Yeah, okay. You can fix it anyway. But yes, you start with a fiction. It's surprising, and this shows us there are how many different styles can be adapted to for a research video. Actually, we just saw a few different examples today. Some started with a great establishing shot, like from a Hollywood movie. Then this started like a fiction movie, and you can just think that you can adapt lots of things from other movies to your research video. So don't think that a research video should be very serious, formal. You can find different ways to make it interesting. So this is one other way to using fiction. It's very difficult actually, because it requires acting. Yes. And you have some drone views. You're very lucky you have drone. It really changed everything. And here, for example, using multi-frames seems more justifiable because it tells something here. We see a car is going on the road, and in the left, we understand that it is going to this place. So it's more justifiable. So I like this, your preference. Again, you have you didn't remove the silence before speech. You can.
Within the scope of the AQUACOSM project.
There are 2 seconds waiting your speaker. You can easily remove this part and make your video more dynamic. And yes, I think that's all for this video. We don't have much time. Thank you for your video.
Thank you for this great workshop. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Maybe, I don't know, we have a 5th video. This is AQUACOSM, a compilation video. Maybe I can give feedbacks in detail to Katarina later.
Okay, let's have a look at that because it's a different one. Maybe we can have a couple of minutes extra. Yeah.
Okay.
It's different in terms of the style. It's a compilation. Yeah.
The MesoCosm facilities provide an outstanding opportunity to do experiment on most trophic levels in the food web.
What is mesocosm? Mesocosm is a kind of middle world from a laboratory, small content beaker experiments to the whole lake experiments. We also do the laboratory experiments to understand the organism's behavior in a very simple environment.
Technical advantages of the mesocosm is that we can control temperature, we can control the turbulence in the system and also the light quality. Mesocosms are especially valuable for climate and environmental research.
Yes, as I know, this video is made by combining some different videos. So actually, this is a very difficult thing. This is because you don't have the project, you have only finished videos, and you have to make some meaningful video from them. So this is a very difficult task. So at the end, it suffers from having a mixed style because each video have different styles. And for example, it starts with interviews. Then after some, for example, after this 40 seconds, we don't see any interview. Then it's kind of a slides video. Then it's more like it finished more like a music video. So I think the main problem here is not having a consistent style. It's a video with speech, with interviews, or it's a music video. It's maybe we should think about the style in the beginning. But as I said, this is a very difficult task as you are working with finished videos. Anyway, from the beginning, I think I don't suggest using this much text in your videos because videos are not a good medium for putting this much text. People don't read this small letters. And I think we don't have enough time to read actually here.
The
Comments are really good. The interview is very nice, very professional here. Yeah, as I said, this is a different kind of video, and but still we can improve it with deciding what kind of video we want to do, the style. We have to think over this style issue more. Okay, thank you for this video.
Thanks, Olcay. Like, we knew we had to change a lot about this, and reviewing this after a few months actually changes the perspective also. So it's great to have some ideas where to start. Thanks.
You're welcome. And maybe we can finish with a very brief common mistakes session. Actually, we talk about many things over your films, but I should say common mistakes are not using a tripod while filming and making too many camera movements, because you have your mobile phone and this is motion picture and you think that you have to move your camera, but this is not the case. If you are beginners, I suggest you first try to get good clean images, not shake images. Like, think that you are taking photographs first. Maybe later you can add some artistic motion or action to your movies, but first, as a beginner, I suggest take clean, not shaky images. It's more important. And you can give an action and dynamic in the editing with cuts, using cuts and transitions. You can make your video more interesting in the editing, not in the shooting. For beginners, I suggest. And another common mistake is not deciding what to shoot and how to move the camera before recording. Many times when our students go out for shooting, they come with some this kind of videos. For example, this is a pan, a horizontal. Here you see, he just saw the traffic sign and turned his camera back. And actually, we cannot use this video even with using some stabilizing softwares like that. And because the one behind the camera doesn't know what to shoot actually. Yes, there is a lake. I have to take this view, but he's also doesn't using a tripod. We see there are lots of shaky movement, and at the end, it doesn't know where to finish. So this image, this video shooting goes to is total rubbish, and we cannot use it. And another common mistake, not adjusting the camera level with respect to the subject. This is really important because you're standing and start shooting standing, and you think that this is the ideal case to shoot, but you should think that there are alternatives. For example, when our students go, I will show some examples. For example, they're assigned to take some good spring images from the campus. First, they came with these images, but we don't understand what's happening there. Yes, I know there are some flowers, but this is directly shot from eye level, not eye level. Actually, eye level for a flower is something different. For example, eye level for a flower is this. So you think this is a better image from the same flower. So eye level rule is valid for also animals, flowers, also human. For example, this is, they shot these stray dogs like this. Then when I talk about this eye level shooting, and they took this kind of an image. So this is better. Obviously, this is better. Okay, and yes, and this is not a mistake, but yes, not thinking over lighting. This you can improve your videos, the image quality with lighting actually, but don't get afraid of the word lighting. You don't use lights. You don't necessarily use lights, actually. Sun is a good lighting source for you. So, but just learn how to deal with sunlight. If you don't manage the sunlight, then it's a problem for you. But if you learn how to deal with it, it's a good light source for you, free, good light source for you. So choose when to shoot according to the position of the sun. So sunrises and sunsets are the best hours for shooting, but summer midday is the worst because the shadows on the face are really very harsh, and you cannot get really good images in the midday summer. So partially cloud weather is also problematic because the lighting changes within the shooting too much, and you have to adjust your image for this change. So it's problematic. But cloudy weather is really what we like, because this clouds maintain a good soft diffuser for the sunlight. And you have to position your subjects also according to the sunlight. You shouldn't take the sunlight opposite your subject, because it disturbs your speaker's eyes. It's obvious, but what should you do? You cannot take the sunlight directly coming from your objective. This is also a problem, but you can maybe take the sunlight from behind with a 45-degree angle, and this time these eyes are not disturbed by the sun, and also this part of the body of the speaker is lit well. But this time, of course, the face is not lighted very well. Maybe you can use this reflectors. Reflector is not a very special thing. Actually, you can use lots of things as a reflector. And it really makes a difference. And consider editing while filming. This is important. Now you tried some editing and you know what kind of image is useful and what is problematic in your editing. So in order to take a good shot, good image, you have to spend some time in editing. And while filming, you can use this information for better images. That is, getting images that is more useful for editing. So you can take, for example, voice notes and take written notes for editing while you are filming. For example, you took an interview and there are lots of takes, repeated takes, and there is then best answer in this takes, and maybe you can just record a voice note at the end of your shooting that this is the best answer, and remove or just clear the other shootings. This is very useful when you have lots of speech or very long project. And in editing, I suggest you first cut roughly everything, make a rough cut, and then apply this color effects and transitions, because this effects and transitions and color grading really forces your computer in terms of processing. So also using proxy videos is very useful to use your computer power effectively. And always be cruel to your shots. This is what you don't do while you're beginners, because you take a good image. This is really proud of you, and you're proud of yourself. You have a good image, but in the editing, you don't find somewhere to put it because it is somehow irrelevant. So please kill your this good shot and be cruel to your shot and don't put it to your video if it is not relevant to what your video is talking about. And I told about checking for pace while editing. This is important. Add photos motion. This is really, if you don't have much videos and lots of photos and your videos have I think is in danger to be boring because photos are stable things and it's a video. And I just noticed that a few groups just made this really very successfully. They add motion to their photos and it really made difference, I think. And use sound effects, real sounds if necessary. If you remember in the last session, we used, for example, a boat start effect for our video, and I think it's better to use sometimes than real sounds. And use text to highlight main points. One of the groups did this really very good, but I suggest you using keywords and short sentences. As I said, long text are not good for videos. And don't use cheesy transition effects and titles, because I know you start working on this DaVinci Resolve program and you will see lots of transitions, but some transitions are really not good. If we had time, I can show you, but we don't have time. But you know, there are some transitions coming from this 90s or 80s videos. So please don't be too excited about using transitions too much. Just, I think, watch some cool videos, good YouTube videos, and follow what they are using. Just watch them, how do they use these transitions and effects. And one last point is, I actually sent you some equipment list, but also I have to maybe to finalize and make it clear what kind of equipment is enough for making videos, and how can you improve your equipment set. Actually, if you have a mobile phone and you don't have a budget for this video making, I think you have to invest for a microphone. I suggest you investing sound instead of buying a new camera. And there are lots of really smartphones able to take really good pictures. So if you have a over average mobile phone or just iPhone 12 or 11, just for an example, and a flagship model of a brand, I think it's more than enough for taking good pictures, but I suggest you investing to this lavalier microphone, and tripod is not too expensive, and you can buy really good enough equipments to $150 if you have a good mobile phone, and you can start shooting. You don't need really extra equipments. Don't worry about that. You can have really good images with mobile phone if you know how to take it, good picture, but you can take really bad images from good cameras if you don't know how to get it. So don't worry if you don't have a budget to use for this. And if you want to improve your equipment set, yes, there are plenty of options. The options are really sky high. You can buy lots of things, but these DSLR cameras are really good for taking pictures, and also they are really good in taking videos. I send you a list of some price performance cameras. You can check this. But of course, I suggest you have a really detailed research before buying. This is just my suggestion. There are plenty of options there. And there is one other option I didn't mention in the equipment list, but this is a very recent product. Actually, this pocket cam, this is all in one. It has a stabilizer, really good stabilizer in it, and it has a microphone also. It comes with a lavalier microphone, and it's about $500. But I never used this, so I don't suggest by now. But just to mention that there is this kind of cameras in there very recently, and just maybe give a try to them. This an option in between this mobile phone option and this professional camera option. You can have a look at this. Yes, this is the end of my session. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Olcay. I think it has been great, and we have already created some stimuli in the group that I think we will be shooting more films to sort of promote our Mesocosm systems to at least to the TAs, transnational access. You know, we could all have it on our web page and AQUACOSM-plus web page. Yeah, we have the kind of have the tool now. It's up to us to improve on it, and I think there will be some more approaching to you through the time, Olcay, because I've been receiving comments saying that they haven't finished their shootings, but they will do it and they would like to share with you. Probably you will sort of be kind enough to send your comments to them as well.
I promise to do one feedback.
Okay.
If they send me their videos next.
Okay. Okay, and I have some ideas I hope that we could achieve through AQUACOSM-plus, but maybe we could have some video contest for next year when we are doing the experiments that each group shoots, and you will be our judge for picking up the nice ones and giving feedback to us for improving us. Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, yes.
And
already there are really good movies here.
Yeah, I am impressed as well. I think it's really fantastic. There was one question, Catherine asking. She says that about the silence before speech. I have the impression that the silence usually occurs when a scene has changed. Is it a good idea to give the viewer a moment to take the new scene before they focus onto the speaker in the scene? Do you? I mean.
No, actually, this is if you just do it in every scene change. If you just leave 2 seconds for each speech to start, then at the end, these 2 seconds or 1 second get together and make your video more slow or boring. This is I say this due to my experience.
Okay. And thank you very much for everybody who are enthusiastic enough to join and continue, keep up with the 3 weeks and do the homeworks and everything. And thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Mehmet, Olcay, for this great webinar. And I hope to meet you all again with our new activities of Work Package 3 in AQUACOSM-plus. Yeah, bye-bye. Take care, everybody. Keep safe.